Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Prosperous Womb. Today, we're diving right into chapter 18 as we continue our journey through the book of Proverbs, this beautiful wisdom and insight journey where we're co-creating our dream coaching business with God, where we're co-creating better decisions and working wiser, using God's supernatural power of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discernment, and retentive memory to build businesses and lives that feel as good as they look on social media, to create impact and value that shifts our clients' worlds, to create worlds with our words and be a bigger blessing in the world, to create revenue and profits that support us to live our best lives, that support us to enjoy the freedom and the peace and the joy and the pleasure of life, that support us to sow more into the work of God's kingdom. Whether this is your first time joining us today, or you've been with us the last 17 chapters, I invite you to continue studying the words on these pages, continue seeking God's wisdom, identify a verse or two that you want to meditate on in every chapter so that you can grow as much as the wisdom is growing you, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're a coach, have a coaching business, have a niche, don't have a niche. It doesn't matter whether you're a service-based entrepreneur or product-based entrepreneur. This is for coaches, but it applies to everyone in every industry. It doesn't matter if you have a business or not. It works for every human anywhere in the world. So welcome. So let's dive right into chapter 18. I'm going to break chapter 18 up into three distinct parts. The first one is our gift. The second part is discernment. And the third part is our words. Because chapter 18 is what I based my entire coaching business on, the Prosperous Womb. The Prosperous Womb was created on Proverbs chapter 18, the whole book of Proverbs, but chapter 18, especially our gifts. You know, I talk a lot about midwifing our gifts to create our most potent body of work, to put into our high-ticket coaching offers and connect to the heartbeat of our clients in our mission and our assignments. And it all starts with remembering who we are and whose we are. Because the journey that we're on to create a successful coaching business, to create a profitable high-ticket coaching business, to deliver value at the highest level and step into that next level of us in ourselves, our lives, and our brand, it's really a journey of love, of being love in the world and sharing love with others. So let's start with our gifts, how we can use our gifts to share love with others. The thing is, the quality of your life, the quality of my life, the quality of our coaching offers, the quality of our marketing, our sales, and our delivery, the quality of the people that we work with, the quality of who we be when we step into our business, the quality of our relationships and of our life is based on the wisdom that we bring into decision making. Because every result is based on a decision that we make every day. Tomorrow's results are going to be based on the wise decisions we'll make today. They compound, they add up on each other. So what decisions did you make yesterday? That's what your life is speaking to today. What decisions are you getting ready to make in your business for the next 18 months, the next 24 months? Let's use this book, God's word, God's insight, to give us the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the discernment, and the retentive memory to create the most powerful, most potent coaching business, not based on somebody else's blueprint or some coaching guru's 5-step program on Instagram, but based on the gift that God has given us. So let's get into that and see how we can tap into that today to make the wise decisions for our business and our lives. We're going to start with Proverbs 18, verse 16. Verse 16 says, a man's gift or our gifts make room for us and they bring us before great men. And this is the core concept that my business is based on, the Prosperous Womb. It's midwifing the gifts that God has put inside of you, because those are the gifts that make room for you, which means they make you grow, they expand you, they continue the journey of evolving that you're doing in this world, the expansion, the co-creation of exponential expansion for you and your clients, the next level of your brand as you breathe life into it and you grow and you evolve as a coach, as a human. That's what your gifts do for you. They grow you and take you places beyond anything you've ever asked or even thought or even imagined. It brings Ephesians 3:20 into play, where it says, the work that we do, the things we have never imagined, God does it through us. So we don't have to ask for the how, because it's in our DNA. It's God in us doing the work. And he takes us beyond anything we've ever asked, because God is working through us. So the gifts that God has given you, the gifts that God has given to me for our coaching business, for our lives, we don't need to know the strategy today. We just need to identify and know those gifts and notice them, so we can use them for potency, so we can plug into our own prosperous womb and not to try to plug into somebody else's power source to get what they have. You know why? Because the gifts you have are tied to the people who need them, that God has put in your life. So that's why messaging is tied to your gifts. Messaging is tied to you and your offer, not to your coach, not to her blueprint, not to the formula, but to you. Because the thing is, there are people that can only hear what you have to say, not what I say, not what my coach says, not what that other coach says. They can only hear you because they are tied directly to your gifts. Our clients are attached to our umbilical cords of the gift. They're not tied to anything else. They don't come to us because of how much money we make. They don't come to us because of what we look like, how much we weigh, or the house we live in, or the car we drive, or where we vacation. They come to us because God has chosen them and aligned them with each of our specific gifts. And that is why when you're doing a business or creating a business or building a business based on somebody else's blueprint or based on somebody else's gift, it's unaligned and you don't feel good. It feels wacky. It feels unstructured. It doesn't feel safe. Because nobody can hear you. The people that are meant to hear you can't even see you or notice you out there, because you're not speaking through the gifts, the lens that God has given them for them to see you. So use your gifts, okay? And then your coach's gift is not your gift. Your coach's gift is there to support you to get your gift in the best and most simple way to your people. That's what your coach's gift is here for. So whether you're a health coach, a relationship coach, a sex coach, a life coach, a business coach, a spiritual coach, identify your gifts in your prosperous womb. And think about David, how his gift of music and singing and the harp brought him before Saul, before great men. How Joseph's gift brought him before Pharaoh. How David's other gift brought him before the greatness with killing Goliath in front of everyone. What gifts do you have? How do you midwife your gifts so that your light can shine? You know, Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16 talks about your light shining. You know, we like to sing the song, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. God wants us to not be arrogant about our gifts and the work that we do, but to let his light shine through us so powerfully, so brightly, because of the work we are doing that is coming through him, from him, through us, using those specific gifts. I harp on gifts because usually I ask people, what are your gifts? And they don't even know. And I like to say, start to notice what you're passionate about. Start to notice what breaks your heart. Start to notice what excites you, what lights you up, what makes you cry, what makes you laugh, what makes you jump up and clap. What makes you say, there's no way I'll die before talking about that? What makes you say, this is the one thing I will regret if I don't do before I die? Those are your gifts. The things that are so simple, the things that sometimes can be so scary that you've rejected them, you've shamed them, you've condemned them, you've made them be guilty. Take all of those and notice them. Identify what they are and see, what are my gifts? That's how you midwife. And if you want to really dive into midwifing all of the gifts that God has given you, then get on my email list. The link is below. We do that every week. So let's talk about your gifts. What are they? If you can name 3 or 4 gifts that you have right now, you can drop that in the comments below and share that with the rest of us so we can see what gifts you have. Your gifts are the gateway to creating the coaching business of your dreams. Your offers cannot be tied to anything else if they're not first tied to the thing that breaks your heart, okay? To the thing that lights you up. It doesn't matter how much money you're making right now. You will not get the pleasurable satisfaction at 100% level if you are not taking a step back to midwife your gifts from your prosperous womb and nobody else's womb but your own. Okay? And that's Proverbs 8:18-16. If you need to meditate on that so that you can get in aligned and in tune with your gifts and feel inside of you like, what is it that I have to offer? What is it? And to know that what's meant for you cannot pass you by. It will make a U-turn and come back to you, because the clients that are meant for you are already here waiting only for the gift, and they can only hear your voice. Not my voice, nobody else's, just your voice. Let me just check my notes. So ask yourself right now, are you working with and in your gifts? Your gifts have to be the thing that you will put everything on the line for, okay? When I decided that I was going to quit making $500,000 a year to do what I love, to do my gifts and to share what God has put in my heart, it was much riskier to stay working as an attorney than to quit to do my business. And I made a mistake. I quit being an attorney, a defense attorney, and I thought, I'm not ready yet to use my gifts. There's no way, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. So I quit that $500,000 job and took a job making 1/10 of that, not even six figures, as a prosecutor. And it was at that job that I learned something about Proverbs 18:16 that was hilarious to me, and I'm going to share it with you. I was prosecuting fraud and corruption somewhere in East Africa, I believe, that week. And after interviewing the person I was, dealing with in the case, he walked up to me later on. He said, "Hey, are you African?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Are you a Christian?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Have you read Proverbs chapter 18? And I said, "I think I know where this is going." I said, "Yeah, I've read it." But I didn't make any judgment. I just said, let me listen to what he has to say. And he said, "Do you know Proverbs 18:16? I said, "Yes." And he said, "And you're African. You understand that our gifts bring us before the ministry, bring us before political officials, and that our gifts, the bribes, are what support us to create contracts. Because without the bribes, we can't get in front of the ministers." And I thought, wow, you're good. We could actually use scripture to back any good or bad decision that we'll make in our lives. And I told him, I said, I read that verse to say that the gifts God has put in us outside of money can be part of the gift, is what brings us before people to share our blessings. The way you interpret it, I will reserve that for your lawyer, not for you don't want to tell the prosecutor that. Tell that to your attorney. And I walked down and I thought, that is a new perspective on Proverbs 18:6. But in this particular business, in this video, we're going to focus on the gifts that God has given us and not bribery and corruption. Hopefully not. Okay? So are you working in your gifts? In what rooms can your gifts bring you to the people who need you the most? Not need you. I take that back, because our clients don't need us. They want to work with us because they deserve an amazing coach. You don't want a client that needs you. That's why messaging is important. And we're going to talk about your power of the words in your messaging next. So the next journey of creating a business that you love, a successful business, a business that gives you high profits, high impact, high revenue, high value, that changes the way your clients see themselves, is the power of your words. And when you move on from your gifts and you go to your messaging, to your story, to the value that you add, to the offers that you create, to the potency of your body of work, I want to ask you, do your words light people up, help them to get to what they aspire to, or support them to get to what they aspire to? Do your words empower clients to make them feel bold and say, "Oh my gosh, this is the thing that I want. I did not know I could create it until I saw what you said or how you said it. I did not know it was possible for me until I heard your story. I did not know it was possible for me because all this time I thought, there's no way I'll get my money back. And now for the first time I say, in what world can I not create this? In what world can I not win?" Does your story do that? Or does your message break people down, fill them up with pain and suffering, and twist the nail in the pain, so all they do is need you, and now you're here to save them? All of a sudden you step into Jesus' role, and now you're God, because without you they can't breathe. It breaks them down, and now they need what you have. Or do you uplift them So they aspire to their dream because you're not God and they don't need your help, but they would love your support. What does your messaging do? That's the power of our words. And those are the words that we use to create our businesses, that we use to attract the clients that we want, the business that we want. And I'm not going to dive really deep into the power of our words because I've talked about this in Proverbs 12, 13, 15, 16, and 17. I've dove deep into how we attract what we want with the power of our words, how what we put in our bodies, in our hearts, through what we read, what we watch, what we believe, what we listen to, who we talk to, whose advice we get, how that fills our hearts. And out of the heart, the mouth speaks. And the mouth speaks the words that we think and believe inside our hearts. So do we get to step out in faith, or do the words that we speak make us fearful? Oh my gosh, am I going to get my money back? What's the ROI? Or is it, there's no world where I fail. There's no world where I don't win. Is there a world where you fail? No. Step out in faith and do the thing. So we need to watch our words carefully because we eat the fruit of what we plant, of what we say. What fruit, what harvest are you going to have out of your prosperous womb based on what you're saying? Whatever you said yesterday is what you've created today. So how can you create what you say? Because our words in 18:4 tell us they have depth. So what you see on the surface is not really it. It's what's underneath the surface. That's what words create. What harvest are you producing for yourself? What are you putting in your mouth? Because what comes in must come out as the result. What is the result that you're creating? Our mouth and our words are like a dam, like we talked about that in Proverbs 17, where what comes out, we can't take it back and put it in. It's like toothpaste. You can't put it back in once it comes out. So zip it. Think before you speak. Think through it. We talked about that in Proverbs 16. Think before you speak, okay? So let's go to chapter 18 and go through the power of our words. So chapter 18 verse 2 says, a fool has no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. Basically, wisdom is good for us. But people who don't want to understand and who don't want wisdom and who want to work harder and not wiser do not want to get understanding. But you want to work wiser, not harder. So you are going to get God's wisdom in you. The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. What you speak creates your business. Are you speaking the recession? Are you speaking profits? Are you speaking value? Are you speaking impact? Are you speaking life over your business, your clients, your relationship, and your body? What are you speaking? That's what creates a successful business, not the strategies, the systems, and the structures. That's just a support to the words you're speaking and to your gifts. That's a support system. It's B, not A, okay? And then verse 6 says, a fool's lips enter into contention and his mouth calls for strokes. A fool is always trying to cause confusion, always trying to cause shame, and always trying to be out of integrity. We are here seeking God's wisdom. We've shifted from foolishness to wisdom, insight, knowledge, understanding, so that we can build the business that we're here to build and connect to the heartbeat of the clients we're here to serve. Verse 8, the words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down to the innermost parts of the belly. Speak life into your people. Speak quality. Speak impact. Speak the life that you want to create. Speak the business you want to create. Speak the clients you want. Don't speak about what you don't want. Don't talk about what you don't want. Don't watch things that you're not attracted to and you don't want, because you create your thoughts. You create what you believe in. When life squeezes you, what comes out? When everything squeezes you, what comes out? When your business squeezes you, what comes out? When there are no clients in your business and that squeezes you, what comes out? Fear, or knowing that you can create an offer today and get a client, because that is the power of who you are being in the world. Verse 20, a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. What fruit shall you eat, life or death? Are you speaking profits or are you speaking recession? Are you trying to figure out how to build a business during the recession? Are you trying to build a profitable business? Are you trying to decide how to profit from a recession, or how to build a business that you love that can support clients to get what they want and to give you what you want, the profit, so that you can have the blessing to be a bigger blessing and so more into the kingdom of God? Okay? So watch your words. And to dive deeper into that, go back to the videos for chapters 12, 13, 15, 16, and 17, where we talk ad nauseum about the power of our words and start to notice what you say. If not, and you're going to do that, and you're going to start saying, oh my gosh, why did I say that? Oh my God, take that back. And you start to take it back. And sometimes you just hold your lips. So the thing you want to say doesn't even come out, because you don't want to crystallize that into the universe. You just want to keep it, return to center, return that thought, that word, whatever it was, to the center. So it does not build into your heart and come out of your mouth. Okay, because your mouth creates worlds. So the third part of chapter 18 is discernment. And this is Proverbs 18, 13, and 17. So let's go to 18 and 17. You need this for your business. 13 and 17. Verse 13. He that answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. And verse 17 says, he that is first in his own cause seems just, but his neighbor comes and searches him. So when was the last time you jumped to conclusions? When was the last time you were coaching a client and they started talking, or maybe you were on a sales call and they started talking and you said, yeah, I know. Yep, I totally get it. I totally see where you're going with this. Yep, I get it. I know I can help you. Before they even finished the sentence. Where in your personal life and your relationships are you jumping to conclusions? If you're a mom, where in your kids' lives are you just jumping to conclusions before they finish the sentence? I've had my daughter say to me, Mommy, just listen to what I'm saying before you reply back to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm not listening to my own, code for life. So I call it but you don't know the rest of the story yet. And this is something that as an attorney, we get training on, the rest of the story, the truth and nothing but the truth, the whole truth. Because when you haven't heard the whole story, you can't make any decisions. And this is not just about your business, but it's about life, where somebody says something and you jump in bed with them and go, oh, yes, I completely believe you. We do that with our friends. Our friend comes and says, this said this to me, and you go, oh my gosh, really? And then you jump in to defend and support them. And it's not, no. It's always, be an attorney and ask this question. Be a litigator or trial lawyer, not an attorney, a trial lawyer, and ask this question. What is the rest of the story? Okay? What's the rest of the story? Don't take the first thing that you hear. Don't be a parrot and repeat stuff on social media or Instagram, whatever, and tweet it without knowing the rest of the story. That's fake news, okay? So always know the rest of the stories, the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth before you start to parrot or repeat certain things. When you get your coach's blueprint or formula, you want to parrot what they do. Know their why behind that. Know the rest of the story for that playbook. So you don't make it yours without tapping into your gifts first. Okay? So be discerning in what you do and how you do it. And another one that I want to talk about was verse 5. It is not good to accept the person of the wicked, to overthrow the righteous in judgment. Be impartial. Be like the jury. Be impartial. Don't just accept what somebody says and then believe them and then support them because they're a family member or because they're your husband or because they're your child. Learn to be impartial, because what you do comes back to you. What you attract comes back to you. Okay? So whether it's who you vote for, what you do, whatever, be impartial. Don't just do it because you know them, you like them, and that's what you do. That's partiality. And the Bible tells us here in 18:5, that's wrong, period. So know the whole story and decide based on the facts who you're going to stand behind and what you're going to stand for. And not just doing it because your heart tells you that's what you should do because they're family or you're already aligned with them from 4 years ago. Know what you're standing for. Know that it's aligned with your core values and what you want and who you're being in the world and in your business. And those are the core elements that really support all of us to create the coaching business that we love, to create the life that feels as good as it looks on Instagram or whatever social media you're on, to create the relationship that feels as good as the one that we've dreamed about, to create the profits and the revenue, the clients, the sales that are going to really make a difference in our lives, that are really going to shift our current reality, that are going to take us to our next level, that are going to up-level our brand and continue to grow with us as we evolve into our next level and who we've been in the world. Let me know how this lands for you. I know I get excited and speak really fast, but whatever you're naturally great at, that seems really easy and simple, that might be your gift. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Mimidabo. I'm a high-ticket business coach, and I support spiritual women coaches and Christian women coaches to co-create profitable and very simple high-ticket coaching boutiques so they can serve at a deeper transformational level, co-create exponential impact for clients in any coaching niche. And in their own businesses, they get to scale, they get to grow, they get to create one high-ticket coaching offer based on their prosperous womb and the gifts that God has given them, tapping into that as their power source to create the life, the business, the impacts, the revenue, the clients, the relationships, the generational wealth, and the legacy that they choose for themselves in this lifetime based on their prosperous womb. It has been good having you. Leave your comments below. What are your dreams for your coaching business? What it looks like, what it feels like, what it does, how you be in it, and what is the biggest thing that you're the only one who's the best at. What are you best at? What's the biggest thing you're the best at in the world? Okay? Bye.